so it goes a bit faster. This is my point of view of Trackmania Grand Leagues Open Grand Leagues Step 3. Small things to note. I barely came in home from a very long work section. That was even, I need to like drive over across the country basically as well, and that really drained me like energy wise. So a small disclaimer, if there's a lot of like weird mistakes happening, that's the main reason why I could like barely focus. At first I did not want to like stream this footage because I felt, no, this won't be that good. But I think there are some interesting things that I want, and I also want to like archive this, so it's like, since this is like kind of my major first competition, so I kind of want to archive at least some kind of footage of it. Anyway, seeding phase, map 1, aka the last map of the second step. The format here is 3 minutes, collect as many checkpoints as you can. Although there was a big controversy about how actually the seeding works, since it's actually not from the total amount of checkpoints, but it's something from something else. I think it was like the average placements or something. I'm not too sure. Basically, it was not the way how seeding works is actually not in the way how it's mentioned in the rules, basically. I know that seeding for me on map 1 was pretty okay, except for one mishap. It was fairly clean. There was a lot of decent players in this seeding server. A lot of like no names. Most of the time I was playing with Hada, since well, it's a bit important and I wanted to, it helps me focus so I don't get distracted. So it will be quite difficult to like keep following what's happening. Oh yeah, here the landing was a bit iffy, but there were like 56 people in the server, and most of the maps I was around top 10 on the seeding one, but with some interesting exceptions. So yeah, pretty clean, nothing too interesting. I think this was the yeah, in the seeding phase, since there's only 3 minutes. Hey Exlode, how are you doing today? Since it's really stressful, I think my heart's BPM was around 180 during the entire seeding phase. And also one thing to add, since there's so many people in this, yeah, this was the big mistake. Yeah, that was very unlucky. I'm okay. I don't know, since the last few days for me have been very like work heavy, my energy is pretty drained for most of the time. Even with those, okay, anyway, even with those 2 minor mistakes, I still placed top 10 in the server after first map, and there was like 60 people in the server. Morioka, my teammate, also did very well. He also drove really fast. This was like the first week of him in the team and practicing together, so. Okay, map 2, Bunny Hop. For me, this was the most consistent map for me, because I could drive it relatively consistent, and I could do it not, basically I knew how to not do mistakes, except for this one dirt turn. It felt so inconsistent, since the grip and the angle and the speed you approach it, it feels a bit random when you get grip or not, and thus you kind of mess up on sometimes on some turns. It's really iffy. For me, the dirt section is my preferred like type, and that was the part where I most of the time gained time because I know how to deal with gears and with dirt lines, since I experimented with those a lot when this map was announced. But yeah, since I was like really tired when I played this after a long session of work, yeah, this was unlucky bounce. That cost me like a second. But I tried to keep my cool. I knew some people will fail this identity because it's very hard to control it on those bounces, and I just kept pushing. Yeah, unlucky wall touch again. It's like again, you get the grip there and it feels random. I'm still like top 12-ish with some very good players in the server even. So this was fairly straightforward, since there's 3 minutes and you need to collect as many checkpoints as you can during the seeding phase. I think this was okay, even if you're... Yes, I need it. I made it in like 3 minutes one day. I think it's still better than it was previously. But yeah. I need a proper stream overlay. But since I wanted to make it... Oh yeah, this one. Oh, I barely got the perfect angle, but I needed to respawn. Oh, that would be really nice. Since I have been very busy with so many stuff. OGL practice, Trackmania related, team management, 2 OS tournaments, projects that I'm making, also studies, coach related websites, and that's all I need to do basically. So whenever I have free time, I'm just like trying to use. It's like very. Plus, I'm also like since there's a lot of tournaments coming up in Trackmania, and I'm like the manager of my team. Oh boy, there's so much work goes into. You need to find the contracts. Thankfully, we got some sponsors, so at least we get a skin. Hope you get better well soon, especially nowadays when the time is really awkward. Sometimes it's coldish, sometimes it's warm, mostly warm. It's very easy to get sick. Okay, map 3, I think, yeah. Last step, there was this meme that was made about me, how I failed this. Thankfully, I tried to save this so much and just play it. And thankfully it went a lot better. Sadly, spoiler alert, on the maps 4, 5, in the seeding phase, it did not go too well. I'm a bit sad that this map is gone, since at first I was like really inconsistent, especially with this part. But then I actually found a way, after some identity practice and line experimentation, I found a very consistent setup for it, and a consistent way of how to keep the gear after the landing point on the no steer block. Yeah, that might be the main reason, yeah. Drink a lot of tea, some warm waters. If you have like, what's it called? Blackberry, I think, blackberry jam or something. Like, put a teacup, put a lot of like blackberry jam in it, and or blueberries, or whatever. In Latvian, it's called upenes. And put a hot water and like drink it, and that helps a lot. At least that's what I usually do when I'm sick. Yeah, this one was a bit iffy, but the fact that I still got it, it's well, because that jump is awful. And like the exit speed there sells as well, since the map isn't that well calculated. So the line holding a proper speed there is like really iffy. Okay, that's map 3. I place still Oh, 3 people from my team were in the top 10. I was like, holy fuck, the training is paying off. Yeah, you should really do that and have a lot of sleep. Okay, now we're starting with the 3 new maps. Map 4. For me, this was the most consistent map. But something wrong happened at the end of the seeding. I think this is the most consistent map for most people, so it's really hard to make like big mistakes. The main mistake that I found out after the match when I was reanalyzing like other people is in that part, if you do smart like approach that one turn with a lot of airtime, you lose like 0.5, and that was the main reason why I was so confused why I'm losing so much speed there. Okay, here it's even these dirt turns are really basic. If you like lose your gear, that is if you steer at the moment when the gear change happens, you lose so much speed, and that's the main thing I wanted to avoid. Okay, here's the identity. All the time, since the server is so filled with a lot of people, I have 4x3 monitor. Yeah, it's really awkward. It's like some certain tasks are really awkward to do when I have like 4x3. But I don't have any other option, so at least I'm happy that I had this monitor for free, so I'm not complaining. So yeah, what I learned here is in these turns, as soon as you get airtime, you lose like so much speed like afterwards. It's ridiculous. It does not seem that major of like a time loss, but it actually is. Now here I almost lost the gear, but yeah. I'm still somehow top 10, even with that weird speed loss at the start. Yes, I'm all the time playing in a full screen, in a 4x3, except rhythm games. Rhythm games I played in a sort of like a window. Okay, here I'm like the last lap, and bonk. This wasn't, yeah. I was top 10, and let's check what place I'm at the CP. I'm 27th. Fucking great. Morioka did very well. He placed 3rd on this map. That was so unfortunate, but thankfully the main reason why. At least my goal in the seeding phase is to get at least in the gold league, which is top 20% of the players, and at least I made it there, because the way how in this system works, even if you get in silver and you win silver league, you still get less points that you place last in gold league. So the important thing was just to get gold. But actually, for step 4, I'm thinking that I will try hard a lot, and I will actually try to aim for top 32. This bounce. Since there's like a no steer block, and yeah, this was GG for me basically. I was like, fuck. And this bounce as well, I was like, no, for fuck's sake. Because for me this map was really well good in practice, and the fact that I choked so much on the first few seconds basically of the seeding phase, I was like, okay, hello Silver League. But spoiler alert, that wasn't the case, and I still made it in gold. And actually, even with these dumb mistakes, I still placed better than I had a better seeding rank than on step 1 and step 2 somehow. Yeah, like in the last few like turns I gained like 10 positions just on the identity itself. But that was actually playing really safe, just to, yeah. And here I got a unlucky no slide, and bonk again. Since there's so many people in the server, uh, actually Morika is leading in this sense. Like holy shit. Anyway, since there's so many people in the server, and I'm like, when you like play these laps a lot, then you get like you have build like muscle memory for some of these turns, and they become like a rhythm based, like drifts when on some approaches. And since there's so many people, the server is a bit slowed down. It feels like it's running on like 0.95 speed, so it does not feel the same. And some drifts, since I'm actually like putting on 125 speed, so it's really hard to tell, but it felt. I think it on regular recording you can see that it's, if you like play the game, you can know, then you can tell that it's like slow down. And here I placed only 20th. Well, at least got up like 16 positions, but ay. I was just hoping this is enough for Gold League. And this fucking map. I'm a bit sad that this, yeah, you can see people are just like minus minus. Minus minus means just like you can like vote on maps to like determine its quality, and the plus plus gives like a positive rating and minus minus gives a negative rating. And on the older like Trackmania Nations Forever or United Forever, you could vote like minus, 2 minuses, or 3 minuses in like the worst case scenarios, and people are just like giving a shit ton of minuses. Although the vote doesn't count. It's like a thing that happens in the community. And because this map is fucking dumb. Like for such a competitive, I think for viewers, it's really pog, but for players, it's so dumb since this map is so poorly calculated. Should I say it? No. We do have like, I hope. Okay, just pick a bit different word. I'm not gonna say it. There is actually one word that sounds a lot like the N word in English, and I'm gonna say a word in Latvian, and it's also kind of related. Basically, we had like some dudes from like Gabon, I think it was Gabon, in our school, like watching stuff, like how it's like stuff done, and it was snowing outside, and the word for snow in Latvian is sniegs. But since in Latvian there's so many like ways how a word is like being said and written, there is this one, like it was for example for the word snow, or in the scenario if it was snowing, it's sniga. And some Gabon people were like, come on bro, like when we said like that, it's saying it's like what? Yeah. And now it's kind of like a meme. It's because it sounds just like the N word, but it's actually completely different meaning. And it's like it's actually has an S in front, and that's why it's kind of like a meme nowadays. Since in America it's like very sensible. Oh yeah, Hero is going for a cut. Since this was last few seconds, I was thinking, oh fuck, where's the next CP? And it was like, I could cut this, and it was like, okay, yeah, sure. But then oh yeah, a bit messed up and did not make it. But still, I was top 10 and played really consistent on this. We had like, what are the players in this server? It's like simply Nick. He's like a Trackmania streamer from Australia. Wasile, he's also one of the pro players. Cena, I actually don't know this guy. Zer, I know FTC the team, but not so much. My teammate, also my teammate, which is really pog. Cena, no idea. This one is really good player. And there were some other really good players in the server. I think they messed up. Okay, now here's the Monka's moment. Waiting for the moment when all of the servers will complete their seeding phases, and what like place will you get? And in the seeding, I was. Actually, in case you're making a what's it called, the layout, can you please not like put the name SRK in the like what's it called in the layout? Really long. Okay, I don't really like that. Okay, and here is the results. I was on like on up and down. I was top 40. On directionless and mini access level with those two major chokes, I was like 150ish, but in the seating I was 75, fifth out of 30, 387, which is I think meh. But I was playing really safe just to get in gold league, and gold league's threshold I think it was 96 people. It does. Oh, the microphone wire is a bit iffy. So yeah, I was waiting for my match and I was like, oh, this is gold for sure. And waiting. Okay, and I see some of my like, you know, already joining. When I was like looking at what my friends got, Otzer, my teammate, he was in silver. Some random guy who also was my friend list, also silver. Kem got gold, and Kem is the main guy who made the competition title pack for Trackmania 2 Stadium and the whole competitive like platform. He's also from Lithuania, and I helped him like testing out some scripts. He made in gold. Somehow he was like purely like a silver league player, but somehow he made in gold. And I joined my match, and I was like thinking, oh boy, this should be gold. I was like thinking, yeah, this definitely should be gold. And okay, now I see what kind of people do I have. I saw Vampire also. Fuck's sake. He also got in silver, but he did not. Only started practicing the last day, so kind of makes sense. Okay, let's see what kind of people do I have for in my match. Ben from THE, Subtimal, the guy from Jean Ren. I don't really know, but I kind of recognize the name. Then there's Ixen, who's like a very good trial and RPG player. Softy Beat, who is the main organizer of this tournament and ex-pro player. Skyzenart, her also very good French player from playing for Versa. Dondem, who actually have no idea. Kato, from my team, who is also one of the top Dio hunters. He's like top 50 on the solo ranking. Yaktor was a Danish player, pretty well known in the Trackmania community. Mika, I think he streams Trackmania's time to time in French. Sheeps, I have no idea. Wait. Easy Power and Wawa, I think both made top 32 leagues in the previous steps. And what was the last guy? And Sika, actually, who's actually, I think he just puts Red Bull in his name, so I don't think he's actually playing for some kind of Red Bull organization. But yeah, these were my opponents. At first I was thinking, oh, the match starting, but then I forgot it. Oh yeah, it's a warm-up. Actually, I did a pretty good first lap, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, that was a warm-up. Okay, now the match starts. I will skip the warm-ups, most likely. Okay, here. I tried to keep my mind cool. I was really tired. I was on the verge of falling asleep, but I tried to focus. I knew I can do a pretty well performance even with these insane players, and I tried my best. Actually, went for some very risky lines here, kinda. Yeah, it's fine. Just chat, event list, and so I can put the game in 4x3, and that should be Gucci. I don't need much. Okay, here I was saving. Since since I didn't practice the first 3 maps that much since they were from last week, and they're not that important. I kinda just like, let's see what happens. Since this was really monk-ass. I got here a spark bump. And it like gave a rotation to my car, but I somehow saved it, and I had barely enough speed to make over those small, like, very smooth jumps. Oh, here I got slides. That was really close. Actually, thankfully, I have practiced like all like backup ways in quotes, in case some bad stuff happens. For example, getting slides as skids there, or some weird stuff. Okay, do I check? Yeah. Okay, here I'm like only 7th. Even with like those minor mistakes, I was thinking, okay, as long as I just like be consistent and keep like 9/8 position on these maps that I did not practice that much, it'll be fine. Okay, I was like monk-ass trying to save it when the car rotates. I wanted to like it bounce back on the last booster, so the car does not like have a rotation going off to the side. So at least I save it and hope that other people make mistakes. Okay, here I'm around 6th. Yeah, I played relatively safe because that box jump is fairly tight, yet it saves so much time. That turn before this jump is so monk-ass for me. I'm a bit sad that this map won't be a thing. I really like this map personally. Actually, on the dirt section, I was all the time catching up. That's a pattern that I notice. Every time there's a dirt section in the map, I'm all the time catching up. Well, I have been playing in a dirt team like years ago, 2 dirt teams. The one was I kinda joined and immediately left since I kinda lost motivation in the game a bit. Since all the team was French. Okay, here I'm 4th for some reason. I'm in front of like really good players. Okay, 4th, 5th. And here, Pepega happened. Poop. I went for a very inside line, and I accidentally... Okay, you see the sparks. If you see sparks, that means you're like such close to the wall, but the collision doesn't happen. And they go like 1 pixel depth. And that is enough to not make the jump. And since this is a part when you need a lot of speed, just watch me going down on leaderboard. I was 5th, boom, 8th, not 7th, 9th, 10th, and even Kato is in front of me. And after like this moment, I don't have like the exit speed that I usually have, and I'm get thrown off here. But at this point, I get back on track and just like try to keep focusing and hope for the best. But yeah, that was really unfortunate what happened here. Is the stream title and the stream game displaying, because it's not showing on my side? Anyway, about this jump. This jump for me in practice, like before the match started, I kept failing it, so I'm kind of surprised I made it in actual rounds. This save. I wanted to respawn, but I wanted no. Respawning will save so much time, and I will try to save it. And that thinking happened starting now. It's like on the spot decision making. I tried to save it somehow. Okay, cool. I will check out after this then. And then I'll put it on. I kinda wanna sit through this a bit. And yeah, sure. Thanks for making it. Oh, and those 2 mistakes. Yeah, I'm 12th immediately. It's like not good. Because a crash like that or a respawn, it costs so much time. Yeah, I'm plus 16 seconds front of first place. So just like thinking, okay, just like finish the map and it should be fine. But yeah, those two unlucky mistakes were, yeah. And here a bump as well. It's like, meh. Whenever you make one mistake, then like a chain of other mistakes like about to happen. And if you like don't have a good mindset and just don't like on the spot like switch. Okay, which lap was this? Okay, this is the last lap. I think the last lap was real. Oh no, this happened. Yeah, I got this bump. What the fuck? I had played this map for like 40 hours. I had never gotten a bump like that. What is that? Come on. And here also get the lang. I was like, oh fuck's sake. And I'm down to 13th. But thankfully this map is only the first one, so it's not that costly like it's on the last 3 maps, where if you make a mistake and shits go down, literally. Because here's the formats like this, on first 3 maps, it's kinda like your point farming kind of maps. And starting from map 4, if you're like in the bottom 8, you lose all of your game points. And then you just like only get the ones that you gain from that certain map. So for example, if you have like enter with 40 points, you finish 9th, you lose all of those 40 points and you just get 6 or whatever, what's for 9th place. And yeah, I ended up being 13. That was really shit. My PB on this map is 7:52 and the winning time was 7:54. So on paper I could have actually gotten first. But in the end my time was 8:22, which is, I think that's one of the second slowest one I had ever done. I think the slowest one was my first attempt at the 6-lapper. But this was the slowest run of like this was my, I think I have done like around 20 6-lappers, and this is my second slowest one. And it happened in the match. Fuck's sake. Thankfully, this was only map 1. I was really like mentally like, oh, for fuck's like this kind of like mindset, like kind of like pissed at the game a bit. But I try to keep a cool mind, and I need to think. Okay, this map here you can't lose points. You can start losing points only from map 4 and up. So okay, I'm gonna skip the warm up here. At least I tried to keep the display up during the warm up, so at least I know that's a warm up or not. So okay, this map. Like I said, this map for me is one of the better-ish maps where I'm the most consistent at. I can drive like consistent 113s, but of course in the match, one is playing in practice, one is playing in a match, so of course something is wrong is gonna about to happen. Actually, I had a very bad curse, and I had a very good start up till the midpoint, and then something dumb happened in the end. Okay, here I'm like 7th, 5th, I'm like, okay, fine. With these players, I'm absolutely fine with 7th place in the so far. I was saving this so much so I don't crash, and I suddenly like 3rd. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, 4th. So that means like 3 people in front of me like, messed up. Also, I'm like all the time checking at the scoreboards after CPs to see what's my position. Yeah, here I had a very shit dirt section. I lost like 3 places. If I had like cars on, like all cars would be like ridiculously close to each other. Like all cars would be like touching each other. It's that close actually up to this point. Like even a minor like slow down, and you lose like 3 places. Okay, this one was a bit better. Oh, that was risky because as soon as you hit the bumper, which is like facing the other way with those like black lines from that perspective, you get sent off in the back. And like, okay, yeah, this was unfortunate wall bang. You get like sent off to the other direction. Spoiler alert, that's gonna happen once. I wanted to risk it just to get more places. And yeah, here I'm third somehow. I try to play safe, not that fast, and just keep on going. This turn with that hole and those 3 pillars is so monkey's for me. I have hit those pillars so many times, and I have had accidentally landed in a hole or like clipped in a hole also so many times. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's see which rank am I, and I'm second. Up till like this is like map 3-4. Was really consistent at this part, but actually in this map in general, but something wrong had to happen, of course. Here I had unfortunate airtime, and okay, here starts the fun part. I'm starting to get no slides. I have no idea why, but then I realized, oh yeah, I'm kind of nervous and approaching it with like from a wrong angle, and thus if you need to approach it in a proper way so you get the slide, I can at least activate the slide. Okay, here was really close. I was breaking so much mid-air, so I saved it. But yeah. Here I lost the gear and thus lost the grip. I'm like falling down positions now from 2nd to 5th. Like, uh-oh, I need to start pushing. So I started to push. Okay, here still good gear management, that's good. It's fine, try to keep relatively fast, but safe at the same time. Here I got another no slide, I was like, fuck's sake. I'm like really close, I'm basically tied with the guy who's in 5th, 6th and 7th. Here I got a weird angle. I think I barely touched here. Yeah, I scraped it and I slowed down a bit. But thankfully that could have gone a lot worse. And I'm down to 7th now. From 2nd to 7th in 1 lap. Ay ay ay. Here I lost the gear. Like, fuck's sake. Losing a gear on dirt is not the thing. That's the thing you must avoid. And accidentally happened there before like the small jump where you. Okay, here thankfully I got the drift. I got a bit confused and kind of had a weird exit, so I did not have a lot of exit speed. I'm still 7th, and this is the last identity. I had a weird wall bang. Oh no, and I approached it at too much speed and I accidentally hit the bumper, backwards bumper. I was like, fuck's sake. And I finished only 11th. From 2nd to 11th in like 2 laps. He's like getting excited from like driving really fast, and then you hit the wall, lose the gear, crash the wall, fail the identity, bombs, and you're like lose like 10 positions. Good game, good game. What else do we have? Okay, I'm really low. I'm only 14th place. Although on paper I can do much better. I can get like top 5 in this lineup. And now, this map. I actually forgot how it went on this map. Did I fail identities here? Oh no, I had another. I'm just gonna skip the warm up. Okay, now the match starting. I was really consistent at this on practice since I found a way how to be very consistent at the identity here. How to land on the no steer block perfectly and keep the gear so you don't have this, what's it called, as the P gear or the parking gear. So thankfully that I figured out like 2 days prior to the match. And thankfully I got it like most of the time. I'm gonna check that out later on, yeah. After like this recap, then we can take a look at that as well. Yeah, sure. Okay, here first identity. Yeah, a bit. Since I was a bit nervous and a bit shaky for the first like time, it's like, oh yeah, here I've been choked. It's like, okay, try to save it. It's all fine. Okay. Here I wanted to have like a full focus mode, and I was trying to like not check the rankings during the match, so at least I keep focused, because what I noticed the last time for the last 2 maps that I choked so much just because I started to look at the rankings so much, and that was like impacting my performance like a lot. So I try to at least focus on just my race, don't think about the others since they can't impact my result. And this is like a battle with myself. Okay, here I beautifully learned how to keep the gear, so I think this was properly executed on the rest of the laps. Other people struggled for this so much. I tried to play relatively safe, since I did not want to have the same thing happen here that happened on the step 2, where I choked the jump over the pool. But thankfully this went a lot better. Even on step 2 it went relatively decent. It's just on step 2 I choked the pool jump like 2 times and went swimming 2 times. But I nailed the identity all the times. Okay, it's all good. I really forgot what place did I get here. I really can't remember. But yeah, I'm just trying to play safe. Try to keep my all of the laps to be fairly like the same. So no fancy risky strats, no weird crashes. Just try to keep my laps as consistent as possible. That was my main approach. I actually checked here. Which place am I? Okay, I'm like, let's see. I'm like 9th. Note, I had a dumb crash at the very first lap. It's lost me like 12 seconds. So I'm like only 8 seconds behind. Okay, in Trackmania only 8. Okay, that's a lot, but knowing this map, and since the possibility of other people crashing, I thought, oh, this is recoverable actually. Yeah, I learned how to keep the gear, and that was I think that was the main time save I could get over other people. The fact that I was very consistent on keeping the gear. Okay, here, I almost pulled me in step 2, and almost went swimming again. Oh, yeah, here, this part. I had a ramp bug, that threw me really high, and it gave me a very weird line, and it gave me a bounce, really lucky bounce back on the road. So this was really monk ass, like really monk ass. I knew this might, I got like super unlucky but lucky at the same time. I tried to forget about this and just continue driving. If we jump, got a parking gear, very bad angle, but at least I got the identity. That was my main thing. Oh no, here, yes, I noticed I'm 6th. I approach this in a very weird way. Hit my bumper. That's Ripperoonies. I was like, oh, not again. Again, like fucking up on last laps again. Because very interesting experience playing in these kind of pressured situations. On these pressure inducing maps, when it's like just driving the map itself is like super risky. I think this was the last lap. I think it is. And okay, yeah, this was last lap, and I placed 7th, even with the dumb mistakes. The guy who won, what's my time? 7:39. Okay, my PB is, if I had driven my PB, that would be like 4th place, I think. Yeah, I could not, like, I don't think. No, 7:20 is my personal best. So yeah, that's like 3rd place. If I had driven my PB, but yeah. Oh boy. This was something. Now I'm like 11th place, which is pretty bad, and now we're start having fun with these Pepega maps. So starting from this map now on, if you place in the bottom 8, you lose all your points. So this is where Monkai starts. This is before I actually learned this map properly, so since I actually I learned how to drive this map only yesterday, like with the proper lines, so the driving here is really chaotic, and I'm just like a bit cringing on some of the approaches that I do. But I tried to keep the same mindset that I did on the last map, but I was really interested in like, what's the result all up? But I tried to, no, don't check it, that's just gonna lose the focus, and that will make me crash. Here I kind of forgot how to do it, and I keep losing my gear and going really high. And I got like 118ish as my first lap. And that's not good. I almost bonked in the hole, so that saved it. Yeah, I'm going for the airtime. Only after this map. Like yesterday I only learned that not getting airtime here is actually the main thing that makes me lose time. I actually learned that by playing the step 4 map, so that's why. But I don't think anything major. I just like fuck up the identities from time to time. I don't think I had like major crashes or anything. I'm just gonna skip a bit so it goes by faster. Yeah, on most of the identities I went like really high. I'm not saying I'm all the time 9. Only 0.13 or 0.5 is like less than a second. In Gold League, that's very catchable. Just thinking, hopefully someone from the top 8 messes up a bit. So at least I get a chance at the top 8 and I don't lose the points, whatever happen. I tried to push it a bit, although not knowing the map that well, it's fairly iffy, if I can call it that. Okay, final lap. The difference between me and the guy in the 9th place is only few milliseconds. Here I was doing, oh, and I got this random bug, even though it was now up to 1.5 seconds. I was, he can't catch up because I have no idea how much that might lose, and I'm seeing it's only 0.4, like Monka fucking S. The other guy is trying to push it and he's like 0.34, so it means I need to push it as well a bit. I had an okay-ish drift, but I tried to at least have a good, and thankfully the last identity was at least mediocre, and that helped me save the points on the map 4. Yeah, Yaktor DNF'd because I actually have no idea. I think he just like messed up massively. I'm cut off here was BMing a bit. Okay, I'm up to top 8. This map. For me, this was my best map when I was starting to learn step 4. Step 3. So, okay, that's a warm. Actually, I want to skip a bit on these last few maps. I don't want to see them. Basically, this was the biggest Monka fucking S of my life. This was the last lap, I think. I was trying to push it because I was all the time was like, okay, I'm just gonna show that last lap. This was last lap. I was in 9th place. And there was one guy in front of me, so I needed to push it. He was really close to me. I needed to have a really good last lap, so at least I can catch him up and have the chance of not losing points. So I tried to push it. I knew I was faster than him, so this was my only chance. I think this is the last lap. Is it? Oh, this is lap 4. I skipped too much. Oh, this is the last lap. I was really close and I bonked in the poles. I was like, fuck's sake. I was 2 seconds in front and that guy can't catch. Yeah, I'm dropping down to like 10th. And I need to push it. And I will risk it. I'm 2 seconds. I see I'm only 0.05. I just need to be a bit faster than the guy in front of me. I go for a fairly risky slash also a bit safe line. And here I just need to nail the identity. And I'm 8th and the guy in 9th is closest by 0.01. Feels fucking bad, man, for him. I somehow barely squeezed myself in the top 8. Barely. Even with the dump, I think I had like 3 respawns in the match. On this map. And I barely made it in top 8. My PB was what's it this time? 720 something something. My PB is like 709 or something. So that would be like top 3, 4-ish. Okay. I don't want to talk about this. Okay, I'm like 6th in the rankings entering this map. And I really don't want to talk about this. This was such a shit show for me, I really don't. Let me just skip a bit. Just skip a bit. Yeah. I was really consistent at this map, but sadly, in the actual match, I was like driving a full Papega. For lap 1 and lap 2 I was driving really good, but some dumb stuff happened. I fell in the hole, I bounced off top of the ledge. I saw already people finishing, it's like saying GG, so I'm like, fuck's sake, I have full map in front of me. But what was my final time actually on this? Yeah, again, choking. Yeah. My time is 8:54:89, and I lose all of my gain points. Me and Subtimal are losing all of our points. And since Kato did not practice that much and he's in front of me, that's also a bit. He actually gained points from this, but yeah, it's really important. Also, my time on this was 8:54. My PB is 7:20, 7:21. I drove more than 1 minute and 30 minutes slower than my personal best. I actually don't mind the point system and losing the points. Just the fact that